Some of you may not know it. Can you see your face in there?
Mm-hmm.
Kevin's an only child. So Kevin, I have a sister. My sister is 4 years younger than me. And so honestly, I really don't remember a time in my life before Jennifer. You know, she was born when I was 4 years old. And so she was always there. And truly, we had, there was a siren coming from somewhere, and you never know where it's coming from. So it's like, where is it? Oh, I see it. It's coming towards us. It's an ambulance. But so even though we were only 4 years apart, she always had a different set of friends than me. She was a couple grades lower than me in school, and so she had different teachers and everything, and some of her teachers I didn't even have the experience with, because we moved in our house, the house we're living in now, we moved there when I was in 3rd grade, and so I started a school in 3rd grade, and so she started in I guess she would have been in kindergarten or 1st grade. So she got to be with those teachers where I didn't know those teachers. But they were talking on the radio the other day about how did you torture your sibling? Well, see, you never got the experience of that because you didn't have a sibling.
Didn't have anybody like that.
But did you have...
I had a cousin that lived with us for a couple months.
Oh, really? Yeah. Why did your cousin live with you?
His mom died.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then so they sold their house, and while they were waiting for another house, they moved in with us for a few months.
Oh, so the dad lived there too?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant just he.
No, the dad and him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, something happened with the house. Like they thought they'd get to move in at a certain date, they didn't, and they'd already sold their house, and
So the mom died, and they sold the house at the same time?
No, it was like after that.
Oh, so did they have to sell the house?
No, I don't know.
I'm wondering if they couldn't afford it anymore after she died or something. Clue. You don't know. Oh, okay. Wanting the dirt on this.
I don't know. I was real little.
So but you played with a lot of people in the neighborhood. Were any of
neighborhood
those
friends? Yeah, we didn't torture each other.
But no. Were any of those siblings?
Yeah, there was a brother or sister.
Okay, so you never saw them be mean to each other or anything?
Oh yeah, they were always mean to each other.
Oh, well, okay, that's what I was wondering. Do you remember anything standing out? Because they were saying on the radio stuff like...
Just argue back and forth.
And they were saying on the radio stuff like somebody filled up the water gun with toilet water, and they were shooting the other one with the toilet water.
No, nothing like that.
Mom wanted the brothers to watch the child, the sister or something, and so they tied her to a tree so that they wouldn't have to fool with her, or just stuff like that, torturing. I never did anything to torture Jennifer at all that I recall. Now Jennifer might remember, but I mean I didn't. I wouldn't have done that. I wasn't that type of person. But now I was selfish when I came to my Barbies. So my parents I had a Barbie dream house. I had the big A-frame. I've told you all this before. I had the big A-frame dream house, and I had really nice furniture. I had a nice purple Corvette. I had a big van and stuff like that. And so my dad had made me a house. He made me an A-frame house. And he made it out of just like spare parts, things that he had laying around the house. And it was cool. It really was. I wish I had taken better care of it and still had it, because it was cool looking. But when Jennifer would play with me, she would always get the crappy stuff. So like I was living in the mansion, and she was living like in the shed. Yes, she was living like in the shed, and she would get the clothes that weren't as good. She would get all the leftover furniture that you would only put in the shed that nobody wanted, But she never got she never got anything like I had. And so that's the only way that I can remember really torturing her. Or maybe telling her, if me and my friend were playing, that she couldn't play with us or something like that. I may have done that, but I didn't do anything like physically. You hear stories, they were telling stories about like being physical, like beating each other up and stuff like that. We never did anything like that. But I don't know if I've ever told you all this story before. Around the corner from where we live now, there was a man and woman that lived there. Their last name was Edgington, and they owned Edgington Funeral Home in Winchester. And I'm thinking, where was that Mom went? Roland Taylor?
Yeah.
Roland Taylor. I'm thinking Edgington, Roland Taylor was Edgington before, is what I'm thinking. So anyway, these people owned Edgington Funeral Home. So I was riding Jennifer on my bike, and we hit a rock, right in front of their house. And the old man Edgington, he seemed like, of course, I was a young kid, so he seemed like he was 100 years old. It reminded me of one of the Klopeks from the Burbs, one of those people. And the father Klopek, that's what Edgington looked like. And we hit that rock, and Jennifer's chin hit the concrete, and it cracked wide open, and the blood was spewing out. And Edgington got out of his car, and he looked over at me and Jennifer. I mean, he saw it happen. He looked over, and he turned right around, and he went right back inside of his house. Never said a word.
He figured you weren't going to die.
Never said a word. I would, if that happened in front of our house, I would absolutely go out to that child and ask if they were okay. He never said anything. But nowadays as an adult, I'm thinking, okay, was he worried that like our parents would sue him or something because it happened in front of his house? I don't know what his mind was. I don't know what he was thinking, but it was just shocking that he could have said something. Here was this adult that could have said something, and or offered a Band-Aid or offered a paper towel or something to put on that, and he didn't. So Jennifer had to have stitches in her chin. So then, around the same time, we have hardwood floors in our house, and Jennifer was always a really skinny little kid. She was a little skinny kid. She probably, she just didn't weigh hardly anything. And then I was always not overweight, but big. I was always a big kid. I developed all over, long before anybody else in my grade did. Well, I decided I was going to ride Jennifer's back like a horse. And
or on all fours.
Jennifer was on all fours, and I jumped on her back like she was a horse, and her chin hit that hardwood floor, and it popped open again, and she had to have stitches in her chin again. And I got told off by my parents because they were like, how stupid can you be? Basically, I don't remember what they said, but basically it was, how stupid can you be? You weigh probably 50 more pounds than her. How would you think that was okay? But I didn't know. I didn't know that would happen. I didn't know that. I never. No.
Don't think about it as a kid.
Nope.
You
never.
don't think about consequences when you're a kid.
No, I never thought a thing about that I could hurt her, that her chin would hit the floor like that. I never thought a thing about it.
But Andrew and Ashley, they're 7 years apart, and they argued sometimes too. They got along pretty good for the most part, but they got in some arguments too.
They did. They would get in arguments because
toys mostly.
Toys.
Sharing.
Yes, and even though they're 7 years apart, because Andrew Aner would go in her room and steal something and run.
In a turd.
And yeah, he thought that was funny to steal one of her Barbies and like put it in his Jeep, his big, like it looked like a military.
Yeah, being captured by the G.I. Joes.
Yeah, he thought that was cool that he was capturing her Barbie and leaving. He thought it was funny, so they would argue too. But now the grandkids,
oh, they argue too.
they do argue, but it's not. I've not seen anything physical. Have you seen anything
No,
physical?
just yell and scream at each other.
Okay, so that's what kind of took me by surprise. Is like I hurt Jennifer those 2 times, but it was never intentional. I never knew it was going to happen, or never thought about, oh, I'm going to hurt her or hit her or whatever. I never would have done that. But now the stories that they were telling on the radio, a lot of them were like they were doing it on purpose and hurting each other, and it came as a surprise. So you never saw your friends be physical like that?
No, nothing like that. They'd yell at each other and stuff.
We just came out of Whole Foods. Can you turn this around? Look at these murals. Oh my gosh. Last time we were over here, this woman was working on these murals. Oh, those are so adorable. So they have murals in this area, and there's no telling how much the lady gets paid to do them, but they're beautiful. I mean, she is an artist, and in this area, it's Fritz Farm. I never can remember what they call
The Summit.
The Summit, that's what it's called. The Summit at Fritz Farm. And there's all kinds of shops and restaurants and stuff like that over here. But anyway, we were just in Whole Foods, and I've been looking for something for the past 2 weeks. And when you use their app, the app will tell you that they have this in. They've said it for 2 weeks. They've said, we have it. It's on the shelf. It's
Pick
in
it up
stock.
by 5 o'clock tonight.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Am I going here?
Yeah.
And, well, it's not been there. So we've been there twice for absolutely no reason, because what I have is an in. And the last time, bless you, the last time we were in there, it was really annoying because this guy was stalking, and I told him, I said, your app says this is there. And he's like, well, let's go check the aisle. Well, I knew.
Like we had already been down
Yeah, I had already checked the aisle. So, and I was looking for something like very specific, like I knew that I could not have overlooked this thing. And so he checked the aisle, and he's like, nope, not here, no joke. And so, yeah, really. And then, I said, the thing about it is, I said, it says that I could order it online and I could pick it up. I said, so what would happen if I ordered this and you didn't have it? And he looked at me and he said, I don't know. And it was like, I said, okay. And he a lot of people, when they work someplace like that, they'll say, I'll go look in the back for you.
Or let me get somebody else. Let me ask somebody else or something.
Right. Well, even if they go to the back and they're back there for 2 minutes and they come back out and say they didn't find it.
Even if they were going,
exactly.
Makes you feel better.
It makes me feel better. It makes me feel better that they said, I'll go check in the back for you. And because their app is usually pretty good. The app usually is good about, what they have and what they don't have. So I'm thinking this item is sitting back there in the back and he's refusing to go look for it. It was just annoying. So today, once again, they didn't have it a week later, and I didn't ask anybody because I knew they were just going to tell me they didn't have it.
And the app still says they have it.
The observation I made.
Still says we can pick it up.
Yeah, it still says we can pick it up. We went into the vitamin shop a while ago, and we didn't buy one thing. They didn't have anything that I was looking for, and so we didn't buy anything.
Yeah, we haven't had the magical thing that's going to increase my physique.
But anyway, we left there, and there was one guy working there, and there was nobody in the store. And the vitamin shop is one of those places where they don't have, it's not a crowded grocery store. It's just not.
It's not a constant stream of people.
No. So we came back out to the car, and I told Kevin, I said, and this is no offense to anybody at all, really. It's just my personal opinion. I would be bored out of my mind working there. Because there's just like, I like to be really, really busy. I like to stay busy all the time. So I don't mind if you put me on grunt work, if you put me on stocking shelves or checking people out, where I'm talking to people or stuff like that. At least I'm doing something and I'm busy all the time in a busy store. But I couldn't work in a place like that. And I told Kevin, I said,
to the mattress place.
Oh gosh, the mattress place.
None of the mattress places around here are ever busy.
Never, ever.
You might see one person in there occasionally.
I wouldn't want to work at a cell phone store.
They get busy though sometimes.
They do get busy, but it just seems so boring in there. I mean, just walking in, it just deflates me to even have to walk in. The environment, yes, the environment is just so utterly boring. I wouldn't want to work at a car lot. And car lots,
I'm not that kind of person anyway.
No, I don't have that kind of personality that you need to have to sell a car. And so, no, a car lot would be for me. I'm trying to think of the mattress place was a really good example of just absolutely boring. There's just certain places like that's like, I would rather be busy. Now, some people would probably rather just sit and not have to deal with people all day. But for me, I've always thought if you're busy, the time goes by quicker.
It does go happen.
Yeah, and then you're like, oh my gosh, it's already time for my 15-minute break. And then, oh my gosh, it's already time to go home. And it's funny how, I mentioned having a break. It's funny how breaks work. Because legally, and I don't know if it's this way in other countries or just here, but legally, you're required, if you work a certain amount of time, like let's say 5 hours, they have to give you a 15-minute break. It might only be 4 hours, but you get a 15-minute break. And then if you work let's say 8 hours or something like that, you get a lunch break. So I don't know if it's required just to have half an hour or how you get a full hour. You've
worked in those places for a long time, so I don't know.
No, but you've always, with the school, you've always had an hour.
Yeah, we've always had an hour, but that was because of how classes were scheduled, not because of that was the rule.
And at his school, it's always been so weird because they've always gone to lunch earlier than anybody else. So everybody else in America goes to lunch. Well, I'll tell you a good example of somebody else in a minute. Goes at noon. Kevin's school's always gone at 11. Why?
That's just where the break of classes is.
Why couldn't they have made
3 hours in the morning and 3 hours in the afternoon?
So in order to not split up a lab or something, they do that.
3 hours in the morning, 3 hours in the afternoon.
Well, it was always
What's
weird.
funny is there's no need for that anymore because the classes aren't split up that way anymore. They're like 2 hours and 10 minutes or something like that now.
Right.
So there's no reason for them to have 3 and 3. They still split it up that way. It's just a holdover. And what's even more funny is the people that would have scheduled those like that, as old school people that used to do it like that, aren't doing the scheduling anymore. So it's funny that they're still kind of doing it that
so
way.
nobody's just wanting to change it.
Yeah,
or seen a need to change it.
They could be taking their breaks, like a class could be running from 8 to 10, and then from 10:15 till 12:15, and you take your lunch at 12:30. It could be like that, but they still don't do that. So it's funny.
That is funny. Well, I was thinking, I was going to give the example. Legally you're supposed to get breaks, but not all jobs you get breaks. Legal or not all.
There's no possibility.
There's no possibility of a break. And very specifically, I'm thinking of our daughter Ashley. She's a teacher, and she gets. Well, first of all, it's a joke when they go to lunch. They go to lunch at I'm not even kidding, 10:30 in the morning.
Does it have like 3 lunch rotations or something?
Yes, they have so many that she goes to lunch at like 10:30 in the morning, which seems just absurd to me. And then she only gets like half an hour total, so she gets 30 minutes. So she the lunchroom, her room is at one end of the building, and it's a really long building. So it'll take her 10 minutes, not quite, but it'll take her a good 5 minutes to walk from her side to the other side. So there's 5 minutes. So she drops the kids off, and then the clock starts ticking till she has to pick them back up. And there's always other things to do. So like by the time she gets back to her room from there's 5 minutes gone. And then if she has to heat up any food or do anything or forget about calling anybody, like if she had a bill that she needed to call and get something done, or if she needed to call and like I want to switch insurance agencies or something like that, and she needed to make phone calls, you can forget it, because that's not getting done during lunch, because she a lot of times does not even have time to eat herself, and it makes going to the bathroom an issue because she has to be with those kids at all times.
Yeah.
And there's no time to go to the bathroom.
They don't get breaks really.
No.
She's in charge of the kids. There's nobody dropping in to relieve her for 10 or 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Now, if she really had to go, she could ask one of the other teachers to watch their class for a minute. But
you know, if they had the money, and I know they don't have the money for this, but if they had the money, it would be cool to have like an extra body at each school just to be able to give breaks like that.
Yeah, I think she actually said she calls the office and they send someone down to
if she
sit
has
there for
to
a minute.
go.
If it desperately has to go to the bathroom.
Right. Yeah, but so I'm just thinking.
No coffee in the morning for me, because I'd be up every 5 minutes to go use the bathroom.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
When I drink coffee, I have to go to the bathroom at least 3 times.
Oh yeah. Well, I drink those clear. Some things make me have to go water. So those clear American waters for me. I drink some of that, and I have to go use the bathroom. But they say it's healthy for you to go a lot.
It is good.
So for her,
it's just not practical for her job.
For her, it's not healthy at all because she has to hold it all day. So it has not been good for her to have to hold it all day. But I'm wondering what other jobs that don't get breaks. Now, what you never had any trouble getting a bathroom break because you have adults and you can just get up and walk out.
Yeah, and I just say, keep working on that and I'll leave.
Right.
Well, we also had 10-minute breaks every hour because it was classes and adult classes, so we didn't have. We had like 10-minute breaks every hour.
Right.
Back when the smoke breaks were a thing, everybody would go smoke during that time.
That's what I was thinking. It used to. There was a lot of people that smoked, and they smoked on campus.
Yeah.
And so now the rule...
yeah, you could go right back at the back of the building and just stand there and smoke.
The rule is you're not supposed to smoke on campus.
No, there's no smoking on campus at all. So people that do, they usually go out to their car.
That's what I'm wondering. You can't keep them from doing it in your car, though, can you?
As far as I know, that's where they go.
So they do go in their car. So
I do know a few teachers that would sneak out back and smoke. Mm-hmm. But they're not supposed to.
So is vaping against regulations?
I know this. Well, smokeless tobacco. So yeah, that would. I don't know. That's chewing tobacco. I don't know.
Because it's not tobacco.
I know chewing tobacco is not. You're not allowed to do that either. Mostly because it just makes a mess. People leave their spit cups and crap around, and nobody wants to touch that crap.
Listen, there is nothing more
disgusting,
unattractive to a woman. If you want to attract a woman, and
don't be spitting
and you dip, and you have your little cup that you take around with you all day, that could be a reason why you're single.
Some women might like that.
I've always thought it was absolutely repulsive, but I do remember before they banned it, that a lot of those guys would carry around a bottle or something like that.
I think this car's gonna hit you.
I know. He did not want to stop. This car behind me.
And there's a car behind them right on their butt.
Yeah. So people, I've noticed that as it's getting closer to Christmas, and I swear we were in the fresh market and some little boy said, only 17 or 16 days or something until Christmas. Yeah, and I was like, oh, wow, that really puts it into perspective when you hear it said like that. But I've noticed
that we used to keep a countdown calendar out front. We don't have it anymore.
No. People are impatient. Like the light will turn green and people are honking before you've had time. And that hasn't happened to me, but I've seen it happen to other people. You don't have time to register that it's turned green, and they're already honking at you to go. They have no patience whatsoever. We're in Liquor Barn, and I want to show you this. This says it's a new item. It's called Dragon Fire, and you push the bottom of the bottle and it lights up.
3 different ones.
So they have these, but then they also have, for $5, they have mango, strawberry, they have cherry and peach. But these are really, really cool. Cherry.
Fire cherry too.
Yeah, and these are a new item. And then they have these big boxes down there, so I don't know what the deal is with that, but I just thought those were really neat that you could push a button on the bottom and it would light up like that.
Big one.
I know. They do this thing on the radio show that I listen to, like probably once a week. He'll do this random check-in, and he'll go around to each person and he'll say, ask them how they are on a scale of 1 to 10. So I was going to do that to Kevin. I was going to say, how are you this morning? Just like he would do on a scale of 1 to 10.
A 9.
A 9?
Yeah, I'm always pretty good.
And I'm going to say that I'm probably at a 9.
If I didn't have sinus stop up, I'd probably be higher than that.
I was going to say, what would have to happen to get you at a 10?
Yeah, probably sinuses.
I think...
That's not what you're talking about, just overall. Yeah,
just overall mental health and all that stuff.
Of course, I'm on the interstate driving. Tammy's going to drop to a 5.
Yeah, I'll drop a little bit because we're on the interstate. But no, I just...
slow people in the middle lane, it kills me.
They're very, very... It looked like the guy from Up was driving that car.
Then he needs to be in the slow lane, not the middle lane.
Those big black glasses. And his little wife was next to him.
Well, they need to be in the slow lane.
It looked just like the couple from Up. They look so cute. Yes, he needs to be over.
We just came out of Crumble, and we noticed they're closed at an interesting time. They're closed on Christmas Day, but they're also closed the day after Christmas, which seems strange.
I thought for sure, okay, we won't be going, I knew we wouldn't be going to Crumble on Christmas Day.
Yeah, because that makes sense.
It's Monday. Closed. So, and I swear I'll probably still get people that comment saying, where's the cookie review? But I thought
we don't get early access to them.
No. I thought for sure they would be open on the 26th. They're closed on the 26th.
Yeah, which that's unusual. Most stores are only closed on Christmas Day.
On Christmas, but
if they're closed at all.
Well, like the bank. The bank is closed on Christmas, but the bank's open the day.
Back up on Tuesday in this case.
On the 26th, yeah. And it's always been that way, so it surprises me. I mean,
I'm glad they're giving them an extra day off.
I do too.
I
don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think it's great. I think it's terrific that they're giving them. So basically, they're always closed on Sunday. So they're getting Sunday, Monday.
They're closed to selling Sunday, but I'm wondering if they don't have to come in on Sundays and do stuff. Like prep stuff.
I don't know.
So they're for sure off Monday and Tuesday.
I don't know. I do not know.
I don't know.
I don't know. I think I don't know as much about Crumble as other people know about Crumble, because I think I have been told several times that a particular religious organization, that the people who own Crumble are in a particular religion. If that is the case, they would not be open. They would not go in at all.
Right. Which makes sense.
Like they wouldn't believe in anybody working in there at all. So if it's not okay for me to do it, it shouldn't be okay for you to do it. Which hello. As a kid, did it never, so like, this is, I know you did not intend to talk about this at all, but I always thought it was so interesting that people in the church don't believe in any work on Sunday.
Some churches really.
So my mom was real funny about people cleaning their house, stuff like that. Like I had a friend, Andrew went to a private school, and there was a mom there who told me, my cleaning day is on Sunday. She said, I always clean the house on Sunday. Well, I remember telling my mom that, and my mom thought it was absolutely horrible that this woman chose to clean on a Sunday because that was the Lord's day. So, but here's what I'm thinking. So, you're doing the right thing by not doing any work on the Lord's day, but then you're going out to eat every Sunday after church, and you're
encouraging them,
and you're encouraging and paying for them to work on the Lord's day. So you don't want to go to hell, but it's okay if they do.
That is funny. You know, because we used to go out to eat every Sunday.
Every Sunday, and I never brought this up to her, and she's not here anymore to defend herself. But so many people in the church believe it's you're not supposed to work on Sunday, but then there's hordes of people piling into these restaurants. They want to be the first ones to leave the church because they have to get to the Golden Corral after, and it's
that's a true thing. That's not an exaggeration.
No, that's not an exaggeration. And they're rushing to get to these restaurants, so it's okay for you to pay somebody else to work. I've never understood that.
No.
How is that okay? If it's not okay, then you should stay at home.
Well, that's what my question was going to be about Christmas. What do you think about people working on Christmas Day? Because I know, like, well, in the past, now I don't think they are nowadays. I think Walmart closes on Christmas Day in the grocery stores, I think. Mm-hmm. But they used to be open, I think. I know there's some grocery stores that used to be open.
Yeah, but I think, years ago, I can remember we passed a deer. That's why I made a face.
A dead deer?
Yes, it was over there next to that wall.
I don't pay attention to dead things.
Mm-hmm. It was big. But again, you would think they would be smart enough to not run out on the road. Years ago, Walmart used to be open on Thanksgiving. And I'm thinking for the past few years, they've been closed on Thanksgiving. But because I can remember going through the line and somebody telling me, one of the workers, I said something about working on Thanksgiving, and they surprised me because they said, I'm grateful to be working on I wasn't in there on Thanksgiving. I was in there like a week before, and I was like, are you off for Thanksgiving? And they're like, no, but I'm glad because they get paid extra.
Yeah.
And that person needed the money, and it was more important for them to get paid like time and a half or whatever it was than to be at home. And some people don't have family dinner on Thanksgiving, and so they don't care.
Right. They
could care less. Some people just don't want to be with their family at all. So this gives them an excuse.
A little different though, because it's not based on religion. It's just, we're thankful for our founders, basically. Mm-hmm. But Christmas is different. It's usually more of a religious holiday.
I think it's easier for the business. I think it's easier if you're just closed completely, and you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about
kind of schedule people around it like that.
Yes,
but I do know the restaurants and stuff are open on Christmas Day, and you kind of feel sorry for the people that are working because like Andrew's not working at the place he is now, but I think in the past he has. On Christmas Day, and it was like...
You think Anders worked on Christmas Day?
It seemed like one place he worked, we had to work around his schedule. Maybe it was Toyota. No, because Toyota closes down for that whole week.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was. I was thinking he was open. He was working that day. I don't know. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't... I know that now my sister I remember way back, she's had so many jobs. She worked at the hospital, and when she worked at the hospital, you have to work. Yeah, you have to work, and so.
I'd say they're quite busy on Christmas Day.
Yeah, so I think she totally missed one year on Christmas Eve, because we would open our stuff on Christmas Eve and have food and stuff, and then on Christmas Day we'd go to Mom and Dad's house. So I think one year she completely missed because she was working on Christmas Eve, and then I know another year.
I forgot I have to get off on this exit.
Why do you have to get off on this?
Because the other one they're doing all that road work on.
Oh, and that road's been completely closed.
Yeah. I think you can get through.
And then I know another year she was like really late to Christmas Eve because
like I remember that.
she had to work. But yeah, when you work at a hospital,
gotta be there. I understand essential services. I'm just thinking about like restaurants and stuff. We don't generally go out on Christmas Day. We stay at home, not because we don't want people to work on that day, but just because we just don't get out that day.
Right. Didn't we hear Skip talking about in the villages how a lot of people don't, was he talking about Thanksgiving or
Thanksgiving?
Christmas?
A lot of people go out to eat because their families are not there. And
I watch this YouTube channel, and I watch many YouTube channels in the villages in Florida, but this guy
pull out, buddy.
This guy was talking about how a lot of people, because their family's not there in the villages, how they go out to eat on holidays. And
I'd say it's big business in the villages. I would think around Christmas time it would be too. I'm gonna have to take off. So
okay, what's making that noise?
This is big truck.
Yeah, and I'm wondering, like in the villages, do a lot of those people go out on Christmas?
Yeah.
I think personally you should stay home on Christmas. I mean, I think you should. I don't think
let other people have the day off.
I think I understand police officers, essential services, like you said, they have to work. But I think if it comes down to going out to eat, going out for dinner and stuff like that, I think you should stay at home. Just because why would you want those people to have to work? I don't think you should do that. I know a lot of people go for Thanksgiving, and I know I'm talking about Thanksgiving again, but a lot of people like go to Cracker Barrel on purpose.
Yeah.
For Thanksgiving dinner. And I don't know. I think for a holiday I wouldn't want people to have to work. But I'd say it's different, just like I'm talking about the villages. I'd say it's different wherever you live, and it's probably more acceptable. And if your family is used to you having to work on Christmas every year, then your family probably celebrates Christmas on a different day.
Yeah.
They probably celebrate it on the 26th or something like that. So yeah, that could very well be the case. Today Kevin and I got a box on the front porch. It says, driver, please knock or ring bell. Perishable and fragile. Please handle with care. They didn't do any of that. They didn't knock. They didn't ring the bell. They didn't do anything. Now, I do have to say, it's really cold outside. So in this circumstance, it was okay. But they didn't do what they were supposed to do. So just so you know. A couple of weeks ago, my dad was wanting a jam cake, and so Kevin and I went to Walmart. We bought a bundt pan. I made him a jam cake, and I mailed it to South Carolina. So he did not have to give me anything at all. It says Golden State fruit and gourmet gifts, fresh from our orchards. It's CY chocolates, which we've had CY chocolates, made with passion by our expert chocolatiers. So there's not chocolate in here, but there is fruit. So,
yeah, what are those?
Pears.
Ooh, I love a good pear.
Oh, yeah. So we have...
I haven't had a pear in ages.
No. So we have like 4 pears. We have apples. We have oranges. We have
I think it's a mango.
I don't know.
And there's an avocado.
An avocado, a lemon.
Oh.
And there's some kiwi in here. Look, there's a green apple. So, look.
The little cuties.
Yeah, a cutie, which Kevin loves a cutie.
Are these all pears wrapped up?
Yeah, I think they're all pears. So that was so nice of him.
Yeah, it's just a red pear.
And cool. He did not have to do that at all, but I thought that was the nicest thing. If you have not watched the video of Kevin making the jam cake, it's Kevin making it on my channel. You just have to type in Tammy Dunn jam cake and the recipe's on there. But it's easy and it's absolutely delicious. So, so it was cool to be able to mail that to him and surprise him. But then he gave us this surprise. So that I just wanted to show you. I wouldn't have thought you could order fresh fruit from Amazon, and clearly you can. I have been watching a new YouTube channel, and I may have mentioned it in passing before. The guy's name, the name of his channel is Peter Santinello. And the reason I found him is because, was that featured on that In the Bubble? That video from the Villages, the one that we watched together?
Yeah, I don't know.
The first video I watched of Peter Santinello, he did a video of the Villages in Florida.
Oh yeah. It was a different documentary on the Villages. That's one we saw.
Yeah, so we watched it together.
Yeah.
So Kevin gets this newsletter from the Villages. Is it called Inside the Bubble? So Kevin bought the book. There's a book like Inside the Bubble. Kevin bought the book, and when you buy the book, you get a newsletter. So every week he gets this newsletter, and it tells about like the video that you should watch this week about the Villages. So Peter Santinello's video was featured, and I said, oh, we'll watch that together. So we watched it together, and I told Kevin, I said, I really like this guy. He is mature. He doesn't act all silly and stupid, and he asks questions, and he takes an interest in things. And I said, I'm going to look this guy up and see what else he does on his channel. Well, he does all kinds of in-depth. It kind of reminds me, like if you've ever watched Lisa Ling's show, This Is Life, it kind of reminds me of that, except a YouTube version of
he
this.
He just goes into areas and asks questions and talks to people and sees what's going on.
Yeah, it's so interesting. So like he did a series on Chicago, and he went to like what's considered like the bad parts of Chicago, and he talked to the people who live there, and they talked about the problem with housing and stuff. It's very fascinating stuff. It's just, and it's giving you the information, and this is what it is, and whether you like it or not, this is the way it is. You know, I'm sure it would seem political to some people, but it's not. I mean, it's just facts. This is the way it is. And he did a whole series on Las Vegas. So he went around Las Vegas, and it was the same thing. Like, he shows you, like, that just a block away from the strip, you know, where it's all this money and high glamour and all that, is people living in poverty. And I mean, it's very, very eye-opening. The latest videos, the most recent videos he's been doing are on, he's been going to Arizona. I'm pretty sure that's where he was at. It was in Arizona. And it's been on the Mormon Church, and it's been on LDS, Latter-day Saints.
The fundamentalists.
Fundamentalist Mormons. It's been on the one, they've had ones who still believe in polygamy, ones that don't practice polygamy anymore. And he's gone into certain rules and regulations that they have to follow, the belief system that they have, and it's been fascinating. It has actually been fascinating. In one of the most the last video I watched, they actually used the word, which shocked me. They used the word child trafficking. And that was a sobering two words to hear when it comes to this church, because they believe, these people that believe these certain things, they believe that the church owns the children. So when the children get to be, like 5 years old or whatever, if they want to take them and put them in a work camp or take them someplace else, the parents have no rights. They were talking about in this certain town that he showed, that the church owns. If you build a house, it doesn't matter if you built it with your money, you spent all your money to build it. If Warren Jeffs decided that it's not yours anymore and he wanted it, you were gone and it was going to be his. And they said that he is still ruling a lot of that from jail. So he's in prison now. He had a lot of underage child brides and stuff like that. But he still is ruling the roost.
Sounds a lot like Big Love, doesn't it?
It does. And you wonder, we watched Big Love. Big Love was an HBO series. And then it was about these polygamists, and they basically, it was funny because they lived in like a cul-de-sac, and they all shared like a backyard. Well, then you think, oh, this is all made up. There's no way this can be real. And then Sister Wives hits TLC years ago. And Sister Wives, they end up moving to Las Vegas, and they get like 4 houses on a cul-de-sac. And guess what they did?
All the houses, yeah.
They all shared a backyard.
Yeah.
So he could go from one house to another. And so you're thinking, this Big Love, you're thinking there's no way this could ever be real. And guess what? It is. And what is horrifying is that this stuff is still going on right now. And I'm not talking about polygamy. I don't care if they're married to however many people, whatever. That's their business. What bothers me is the child part, and that they can take children away from their moms, and there's nothing done about it because it's under the guise of religion.
Yeah, that's not the main church. That's that fundamentalist.
And they can make them go to work camps. The child bride thing, they still, there are girls that are still chosen and married off at 13 years old, 14 years old. That's what I think it's horrifying that in 2023, this is still going on and nothing is being done about it. It seems like the FBI or somebody would like be on a secret mission to infiltrate these areas or this group, and to make sure that stuff like this isn't happening. It's very, very disturbing. But I do not, I haven't recommended YouTube channels in a long time, because years and years ago, I recommended a couple YouTube channels that I was watching at the time. I no longer watch those YouTube channels. I watched certain vloggers and stuff like that I do not watch anymore. I just don't. And so I wouldn't lightly recommend a channel to you. So by me giving you his channel, I'm just telling you, it's informative. You hear from all sides, not just one side.
Yeah, he's pretty non-judgmental. He goes in and, I mean, he might have a thought about it, but he doesn't he doesn't hit that agenda from the beginning of the video.
But I think he's wonderful, and he's not afraid to go in all areas, just like some people would only want to go in Las Vegas. They only show you in the hotels and where it's safe. He goes to places where it's not supposed to be so safe. Now, he's going in the daytime, but that's okay. Stuff can happen anytime, anywhere. But I think he's definitely worth your time watching. I finished my book, The Housemaid Secret, by Frida McFadden, and it was so good.
It was the second one.
It was the second one, The Housewife's Secret, or the Housemaid. Sorry, you've got The Housemaid, and then you've got The Housemaid's Secret. The next book, The Housemaid is Watching, I think is what it's called. It doesn't come out until like June of 2024, because I looked it up. I was asking Kevin, wonder when this comes out. It doesn't come out until June. So I had a lot of recommendations from you all, and I started reading. I've got it written down. I started reading Louise Penny. It's called Still Life. Now, it will probably take me a month to get through this book. I don't know. I'm reading it on the book reader, so I don't know how thick it is or anything like that. But it will probably take me a little while to get through it. But I started that last night, and it seems like it's going to be very interesting. If you like Agatha Christie type books, this seems like it's going to be that type of thing. I want you all to know, I've been getting Christmas cards in the mail, and I plan to show them on the vlog. I've got a vlog. There will be a vlog that comes out on December 25th. I mean, I haven't filmed it or anything, but I'm saying there will be a vlog on the 25th. Christmas is on a Monday, and that's when vlogs come out. So I'm saving. Normally for Christmas, I show you as they come in. I show you Christmas cards. I'm going to wait until the 25th and just show you all on that vlog. And then if I get any after that, I won't show them. I always get stragglers, so it's funny. I swear I've gotten Christmas cards much, much later.
Yeah, like January.
Yeah, so, but I'm only going to show the ones that I've gotten up until that time, and then that'll be it. But I thought it would be really, really fun I'm going to tell you what I believe are the 4 worst Christmas songs ever. And I would like to hear what you all think are your like 3 or 4 worst Christmas songs, or if you only have one. Because normally Christmas songs are awesome. I love Christmas songs. And I have a slew. I mean, I could just keep naming as far as favorites go. So we're going to start with number 4. In 4th place.
Is it what's on here?
It's what's on the... I wrote it down.
Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer.
I hate that song. Now, how do you feel about this song?
It's okay. I don't really care one way or the other about it. I mean, I don't hate to hear it, but I don't want to hear it all the time.
I just don't like it. I don't mind to hear it every once in a while, but it's definitely not. I could go without hearing it forever, and I would not miss it. Okay, what's number 3?
Christmas in Prison, which I didn't even know was the song.
Oh yeah, Christmas in Prison. Yes. Look it up on YouTube. Christmas in Prison.
Sounds depressing.
It's very depressing. Yes, that's what you want to be thinking about is Christmas in Prison. Okay. What's number 2?
It's a real nice song.
What?
Please, Daddy, don't get drunk this Christmas.
Oh, yes, this is John Denver. And he says, please, Daddy, don't get drunk this Christmas.
That's
yes.
awful.
It's horrible. It's horrible. It's a horrible song. And I like John Denver, but I don't like that
John
song.
Denver is always about open
Yes.
air and skies and
Thank God I'm a country boy.
Yeah, I mean,
I love John Denver.
I guess he wasn't thankful when his dad was drunk. Huh?
Yeah, don't get drunk for Christmas, Daddy.
I didn't know that was a real song.
Oh yes, you have to hear it.
I've heard the last one. I mean, you're number 1.
Okay.
The Christmas Shoes. I've heard that one. It's very depressing.
It is the most horrible. I said this years ago during a video. I think it's the most horrible Christmas song I've ever heard. And I don't know why people want to listen to it. I think it's kind of twisted to want to listen to it. If you've never heard it, you need to hear it.
No, you don't.
Well, you need to hear it one time so that you can say, yes, I hate that too. That is so freaking...
It's somebody out there's favorite song. You know
if that's your favorite song, I'm sorry, but there has to be like, there's something, because it's about this mother. All the kid wants to get is a new pair of shoes for the mother, and the mother ends up dying. And they're like putting the shoes in the coffin at the end. They're putting the shoes on the dead mother. It's disturbing. It's disturbing. It's not in the spirit of Christmas. It's not
a happy, cheerful song.
No, it's not a good song. I want to be happy. It's the most wonderful time of the year. I want to hear happy songs. And that is definitely not a happy song. So I figured it would be fun for us to, some of us, even if you only put one, like
What's your worst Christmas?
Yes, do you think is the worst Christmas song? That would be fun to put in the comments of the video this week. So everybody can go down to the comments and we can look at each other's worst Christmas song ever. But I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching it. We always appreciate it very, very much. And we'll see you next week.